This live broadcast is rated M for mature audiences. It may contain adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, surgical procedures, and let's face it, with Jake Machin on the scene, it may even have a little bit of nudity. Enjoy the show. Hey folks, my apologies. We are having a few technical difficulties here. If I'm coming through in random audio, my apologies. My name is Matt, and we are here today to talk about all things D&D and other bits and pieces as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. A gentleman next door has also decided to start mowing his lawn, so my apologies if that's come through as well. It's all happening. We are coming through unapologetically live. So in amongst all of that, we've also got my 3-year-old here who might be coming us out and having a bit of fun time with that too. So we'll see how we go. I am joined today by a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. He is a man who is very, very well known, very accomplished voice actor, and just genuinely wonderful, nice guy. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please make welcome Mr. Jacob Machin.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for that very nice introduction.
You are very welcome. My absolute pleasure. I hope you're able to enjoy this craziness. And thank you for joining me. I know it's probably just about dinner time there over in the good old Vank of Cuva.
I have a dog to walk, but he has been walked already. So.
Oh, it's been walked already?
Yeah.
Well, fair.
Get that stuff out of the way early.
Nice. I'm just going to swap over to the chat just to see if anyone else is listening. We've got a couple of people watching, which is fabulous. We're going to talk all things D&D. I don't know, this audio issue we're having a little bit annoying. I don't know if you can still hear that echo at your end.
I can't hear it too bad. There's definitely on your asses. There's like a little bit of, but it just adds to the creepy etherealness of it all. Yeah. Could be a lisp. Could be.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to do this because I'm still, the headphones are not really doing it for me anyway, which is fine.
Yeah.
All right, look, we are going to jump straight in. Lots to get through. And again, if it's annoying audio-wise, please let me know. We'll take a break and I'll try and figure out what's going on. But we have a lot to get through today. So I want to start off by getting your opinion, good sir, on Critical Role and the current state of play there. Now, I will say as well, I am not up to speed with all of Critical Role.
So no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. Okay. Here we
Absolutely.
go. Let's see.
Absolutely. Well, you know me. I'm an enormous fan of the Critical Role peoples. I think they're
just in general
what they do. Yeah. I mean, what they do is so much fun, and they do it so well. How can you not?
I'm jealous as hell.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Same with not just Critical Role, but Dimension 20 as well. With Brennan. I think both of those teams have kind of shown how fun D&D can be, just as a community thing to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
But yeah. What kind of set you on the path of Critical Role? Like, how did you get into Critical Role of all things D&D?
Well, Critical Role for me, oh god, that delay is doing my head in. It's doing my nana in, and I don't know how I can fix it. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to see if I can bring my volume down a touch, whether that's causing issues or not. I don't know. We will plow on. Apologies to everyone in advance. No, Critical Role for me was something that I discovered just through YouTube searches and things as well. Obviously, I'd heard people mention Critical Role. It was actually, it come up because I was watching Blind Spot which is a TV series that features Ashley Johnson. And she had a critical role mug that her character would always use whenever they were investigating as FBI agents, all that sort of stuff. So if you've seen Blind Spot, you know what I'm talking about. So I Googled critical role. At the same time, the card game Munchkin has a critical role set as well. So what is everyone talking about this critical role? And of course, I got on board, and the rest is, as they say, history. I will say, as I said, we're sort of, I'm behind. I think we're up to episode 19 or something, and I'm nowhere near. I'm probably still on episode 6 or something. Finding 4 hours to watch the stream can be tricky. But at the same time, I have to say, Fresh Cut Grass, I just want to talk about that character for a moment, because holy crap balls, what an experience, what a time. I love it.
Well, it's a as Taliesin said in the last series, I'm waiting for the Sam Riegel shoe to drop to see where he's actually taken this character. But for what it is, it's fun to watch Sam be. It's fun to see the comical relief character being shared around now. I feel like they're all embracing all elements of it. But yeah, to see Sam as a healer, I can't help but think it's a little bit of a dig at Laura, of him being like, I'm going to show you how a real healer heals.
I must admit, it's entertaining to see them have their interplay. It's funny. My wife has just sent me a message saying, say hi to Jake for me. I'm not going to interrupt you on live stream. Oh, so hi, Catherine. It's fantastic. I'm glad to see that she's paying attention. And this is like, she's at hospital at the moment, working her butt off as a first responder. So the fact that she's taken time out of her day to wish us well is pretty good. Good on her.
Sending you
love you,
all the love. Thank you for what you do. We really appreciate it.
All love, all the crazy. I will be telling how the audio just absolutely screwed the pooch. But
and when I come back, we'll have to do it.
Someone's watching. Night. That's good. It's probably us logged into ourselves. But look, Critical Role, I find just the whole concept of it. There's one part of Critical Role that, I mean, people may hate me for this, but don't hate the player, hate the game. I find that there's a lot of exposition, and I know it's all set up because once they get into it, there's obviously combat and everything else as well. But I find that sometimes I'll have it on in the background because I've got other things that I need to get done. Because leading up to, we're traveling here, we're traveling there, and I know that's part of the game, but I do like actions. Actions speak louder than words, in my opinion. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? Whether you think similarly or?
I've been doing a lot of research into this for reasons I'll get into later, but been looking at Dungeons and Daddies and Dimension 20 and the Glass Cannon guys, Aliens and Androids, and the one thing that Critical Role I find sucks me in more with is the story. And I think it is because they put so much behind it. They put so much layering and so many things behind it that when actions do happen, you are fully invested in them. So good mic etiquette there, knocking shit around. I do completely understand people's gripe with that part of it. But I see it as they're telling a story. They're not even playing the game half the time. They're just telling a fully improvised story together. And it's just long form improv. And I love that. I love that.
Well, that's it. I think it's one of those things that is, as you said, polarizing, but at the same time, being able to engage and create that world together. I mean, that is at its core the essence of what Dungeons and Dragons is about. So being able to, I guess, develop that world so that, later on you can just run around the world and people know where you're at. I think that's probably what that's all about.
Yeah.
I know that when I play or when I DM, I do like to have an understanding of the locations, the layouts, that sort of stuff, which is kind of important, obviously, so that when you move into combat, etc., or you're moving from place to place, or you need to have an idea of a clue of what to do next, you know exactly where it is you've got to go. Which is, an important aspect of the game. I don't like that when I'm a player. I don't like sitting around in a tavern waiting for everyone to hurry the fuck up. So,
yeah, I understand that. Yeah, there needs to be some sort of inciting incident to get you going. At the same time, as a DM, how much you've got to try and figure out how much your players want to role play and want to actually do combat and adventure around and take on puzzles and things like that. And I've found it difficult because I've been DMing a group of mixed like actors and muggles, and we're going into another one with all actors and improvisers. And I'm trying to balance this idea of I would love everyone to role play and love for every character to have an interaction, a meaningful one with each other. But you can't force that on anyone. Sometimes you've just got to look at the group and go, oh, you guys are itching for, okay, let's go find some combat somewhere. So that juggle is always interesting to
me. That's when you get a whole bunch of murder hobos. I think that's what that's called, isn't it? You get a whole bunch of murder hobos that just want chaos.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, but I've found there are ways to get the murder hobos to role play so that they role play and then they go, oh shit, this is actually quite fun, this part. So we're still going to be murder hobos, but we're going to be murder hobos that talk. And I like that.
Murder hobos that talk and have little bits of exposition before combat.
Yeah.
Little quips.
Little jokes.
All about quips, that's it.
Yeah. I've recently, so I powered through season 2 of Critical Role podcast, and I've gone back and started at the very beginning of Vox Machina, and because the animated series came out. Did you watch the animated series?
On my list of stuff to watch. It's one of those things where I want to watch Critical Role with Charlotte because she's into Dungeons and Dragons in a massive way, and who knows, maybe one day we'll get her on stream and do all that. But I found that Critical Role obviously is not necessarily PC. Obviously, it's a bit not suitable for children. But at the same time, The Legend of Vox on Amazon Prime, I don't know if it's going to be the same sort of thing. I haven't watched it yet. I need to sort of watch a couple of episodes to see if it's okay.
It's not. This suitable.
Also is coming from a guy who lets his 8-year-old play Halo.
Let me say this right now. Figure. The Vox Machina TV series is not suitable for kids.
Okay, so that clears that up. No, I figured as much.
It's. I mean, you've got Sam Riegel Scanlan. You've got borderline sex scenes, kind of. A lot of violence, a bunch of swearing. Look, it's great. It's such great entertainment, but it's definitely adult animation.
But that's why we love it, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I love that adult animation has come out. Things like Big Mouth and BoJack Horseman and that sort of thing. And a lot of people who never watched animation, either growing up or either as an adult, have been like, "Oh, like it's really good, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's if you've ever watched a Studio Ghibli film or if you've ever watched the film Your Name, the Japanese film Your Name." That is the most beautiful. I cried so hard in that film, and people forget that you're suspending your belief, suspending your disbelief when you're watching film. When you're watching animation, you know it's not real. You don't even have to suspend your disbelief because you've already suspended it in watching it. So you're able to be taken on this huge, enormous ride without having to kind of have that moment of like, oh, they wouldn't do that, they wouldn't say that, oh, the camera wouldn't move like that. And I've found that with Dungeons and Dragons as well, with actually playing the game. You don't get stuck in your head of like what's logical or what's not logical. It's what do I want and how do I get it? And I find that very freeing.
I think that's it. Exactly right. You don't have to be someone who is a massive, huge writer of epic tales. You don't have to be someone who has experienced D&D before. Ultimately, you are given an objective of sorts, but that doesn't mean you have to follow that objective. That's probably one of the banes of the existences of dungeon masters as well, DMs, because you can create a world and say, right, they're going to go X, Y, Z, but then you'll get that one person who will just come up with something so random and send you down the garden path, and you've got to think on the fly all the time. But I had so much more stuff planned over here, but you're not going to get to it because that's it. And how do you then... This is something else that I find I'm not having trouble with, but it's finding that great closing point that makes them want to come back for the next session. Not just saying, okay, you finished the dungeon, let's go back to town and sit there for a bit and go back to the tavern and chill. I think one thing about Critical Role, I think they really well, is when they have that hook that makes you just want to, don't stop now, let's keep going, let's charge on ahead. Episode 1, they go into Esteros and he literally charges at them, but that's where we're going to finish for the week. Like, come on, man, where's the combat? I want that right now. But doing that sort of stuff, I think, is where Critical Role excels, because they have really mastered that art of storytelling, and that's Obviously, massive mad props to Mr. Mercer.
Yeah, the whole team have come leaps and bounds as far as storytelling goes. They know, listening to the first season, there's a lot of talking over the top of each other and a lot of quipping and that sort of stuff. And they've really, I mean, they're professionals. They're obviously professionals, and they've learnt the story beats. They've learnt how to take their time and what we call in theater or in improv sharing the spotlight, of knowing when it's this person's turn and knowing when, like with Mercer in particular, knowing when to call it a night, when it's just enough so that no one's tired but everyone's still excited, but also this is a good point to finish. And sometimes it's a suspenseful ending, sometimes it's a sad ending, and sometimes it's just a very poignant point to be like, you know what, we're going to stop there. And I think he does that really well.
It's just a logical endpoint. Absolutely. I think that's the tricky part, is finding that logical point to finish as well. This guy's really going for it out here with his Leafblower.
Doesn't sound too bad for me,
which is fucking annoying. But hopefully it's not coming through too loudly, along with the rest of me echoing fast. It is what it is. Unapologetically live, as I said. But look, I guess let's talk D&D Beyond for a moment, only because we have, as I said, a lot to get through. D&D Beyond. They have just had a digital dice sale. Now, I know I'm a dice hoarder. I don't mean to be. It just happens. What is your thoughts on the digital dice? Do you need all the sets? Do you need a special? Are they worth it?
You are addicted. You are addicted to the digital dice. I like the digital dice. I mean, even when I'm playing virtually, I usually say use physical dice if you want. Like, I trust people to not fudge dice rolls, and if they do, then they're just cheating themselves. As far as digital dice go, I have a very weird. I don't buy the packs, but I'm a master subscription, so I get all the good ones besides the ones that you have to buy. But for me, it's one simple thing. It's one simple thing. If it makes the right heavy, clunky noise, I'm good. When they had the sanguine dice and the fluffy dice, didn't like them because they didn't make the. For instance, they didn't make the. I don't know if that was loud enough. They don't make the noise, and that upsets me. I'm here for the clicky clacky dice roll. That's what I'm here for.
I think there's something about when you grab a chunk of dice and you have that. It's just you've got to replicate that. The arcane dice, I didn't mind the arcane dice. I thought they were quite cool. Also, if you roll a nat 20 when the animations pop as well, I'm a sucker for that sort of gimmick. But I think for the most part, if you're playing physically with somebody and nat 20 rolls up, the reaction is the reward. It's not even the fact that you roll the 20. It's the, oh my God, that's freaking amazing. Because, I mean, for me to roll a nat 20 is a very, very rare thing. For me to roll anything above a 10 is a rare thing because my dice rolling is so shit. So I guess to have a little fanfare pop up on the screen
is exciting.
I don't know. It was interesting. I had, speaking of digital dice, I had a notification come through on my Beyond. Charlotte had been creating characters and doing all sorts of stuff, and she's joined a campaign. And there was a card that came up, with the results of the die roll, and it was 1,583 because she'd rolled, I don't know, 35 D20 plus D6 plus whatever. All
that was my next
right across the screen.
That was my next
roll,
question.
But I just went, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was my next question was what's the most dice you've rolled on D&D Beyond? Because that's the one thing I really do love, is being able to roll 400 D20s and just go bang and see what number comes up. And you get that thing where it glitches out because there's one dice somewhere on the screen that's stuck and it's going go 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 go, and you're like, well, I'll just wait it out. I've got a bunch of campaigns running, DMing one, co-DMing another that's about to start. But I'm part of one that is purely online. And you're right. Having the most exciting thing for me for D&D Beyond, not sponsored by D&D Beyond, but fuck it, we love D&D Beyond, is just everything to do with the character sheet. There's something special about having your character sheet there with everything they can do and looking at all the spells you can do, all the actions, all the bonus actions. And when you rolling a nat 20 with your dice is very special. But there's something that seems so impossible about rolling a nat 20 digitally. It's like, well, how does the algorithm even choose? So when you do roll a nat 20, you're like, holy fucking shit. Okay, great.
Bring it on. That's it. Exactly right. It's just, I don't know. There's something about being able to see the character sheet and look at all the skills and click a button to roll it without having to do the math. I don't mind doing the math, but when I've got multiple players who are relatively new, I usually use the tool set for D&D Beyond just because it's a lot faster. It helps them understand how the maths work, even though they don't have to work it out. It's just a nice way to sort of, I don't know, bring new people in, I've found. Particularly with the addition of the digital dice. They click the button, the dice rolls across the screen, they go, oh, I made a dice roll.
Yeah.
And if they roll well, it's going to keep them coming back and playing more and more and more. I guess, is there on the character sheet, which is awesome, and the animated frames and stuff, which is kick-ass. Speaking of characters, though, do you have a favorite race?
It's a very good question.
Putting you on the spot, I know.
Yeah. I'll say this. I don't think I'll ever play as exciting as a variant human to have a feat first up is. I don't think I'll ever play a human. I don't see the point. I'm playing a human in life and I'm already rolling a bunch of nat ones. So I'm not a big fan of playing a human, if I'm honest with you. So I'm a big fan of finding the antithesis of what your class is going to be, if that makes sense. Like I did a turtle monk, which I realized later was just what's his name from Kung Fu Panda? The I can't remember his name. Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But I like the antithesis of when I first started playing, I was like, okay, orc, and I'm an orc in my long-term campaign. But from then, I kind of pick a class first and then go, so what's a race that would be either hilarious to see this class as, or that would be interesting to try and figure out how to make them work, or how to explain character-wise why this Vidalcan has become a blade singer. You know, that sort of thing. I enjoy that. Same with rolling stats. I enjoy explaining why the stats are the way they are. Not explaining, but exploring how they manifest character-wise.
Well, that's the thing. I always find it interesting when someone says they're playing a halfling barbarian. That my mind's eye just makes that look funny as hell.
Yeah. Or what's the Harangon race from Witchlight? The rabbit.
Yeah, the rabbits. Yeah,
that as a barbarian or a blood hunter, and then you just play them as if you're the rabbit from Monty Python Holy Grail. Yeah, Monty Python Holy Grail. That's all it is.
Yes. It's got the weird teeth and the. It writes itself. It's fantastic. I love it. It's so much fun. I think.
Have you got?
You're right though. Don't be human. Sorry, say again.
I was just going to say, have you got a race that you've lent towards, or?
I have not had as many opportunities as I would like to be just a player. I've mostly been a DM, and I think it's in the past I've done some halfling rogues because I just like the idea of being short and being able to pick people's pockets without them even noticing you because you're too short. I have a couple of dragonborns that I've been putting together and using from time to time as well. But I find a lot of the characters that I actually build with the purpose of using them as NPCs. Which is just purely because that's just what has to happen. As it is, I ran a campaign for some folks not too long ago, late last year, and one of the NPCs was such a hit. And you know what? There's another campaign coming that is 5 years later in the timeline, and that character will be making a comeback. But I'm not going to go into detail in case they watch this stream back and start going, oh shit, what's going to happen? What's he going to do?
Mind your own business.
But yeah, so it's good fun. I like the idea of being able to continue on a story and then develop characters further as they level up and gain experience, etc. It's really sort of a whole new world, I guess. Not to quote Aladdin, but there you go. I just did.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, that's right. Every moment, red letter. That's tangent. We don't need to get on that. That's so crazy. But I guess being able to create those characters and create that world is a huge, huge part of why we love this game so much.
Yeah, yeah. There's something special about creating characters that are a part of you that you either want to explore or have explored, or that you just it just comes out of you and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know. Oh, interesting. Okay. And having players react in a way, in a visceral way, like love it or hate it. They're the standards. Because at least then you have a very strong feeling either way. Because hate can be very useful, love can be very terrible, vice versa, obviously. But to make your players feel something and to experience something in a story is the main goal. And I've been playing a couple of other games, and I've played a lot of games that have had the DM. The DM are more interested in their experience than their players' experience. And I don't like that, and I'd hate to ever put that upon my players.
Well, ultimately, everyone's working together to tell a story. So, that's pretty important. Speaking of DMing and other bits and pieces as well, I know you yourself have quite a few things in the pipeline. Is there anything that you would like to discuss or that we can discuss? I didn't want to jump in and start telling stuff. Not official yet, but I know you've got some things, so I just wanted to see if there's anything you care to share with those people who are going to be watching this back later on.
Yeah, we're my good friend Caleb Dowdle and I are have a podcast a la Critical Role, a la this is a good example of how waffly it is. We have a podcast, a D&D / long form improvised podcast that we co-DM together. I do the NPCs and he does the descriptions in the world and all that sort of thing. And we cross over and we banter and that sort of thing. But we have 4 wonderful actors / improvisers in our cast. And we've started and we've got some episodes, and they come out on the I believe the 24th of this month on like Spotify and Apple and wherever you get your podcasts from. And that's a very early stage thing into what we're going to develop into something different, something more in front of your eyes, if that makes sense. But that's called Theater of the Mind Flayer. That's our podcast.
I love that. Yeah. Theater of the Mind Flayer. Bring it on. Yeah. I love that. That's
it was
fantastic.
about half hour of going through D&D ponds. But you will be maybe showing up at some point as an NPC if people keep their ears out. Maybe.
I have to work on my character voices. Dust off the old pipes. I'll just be a bard and I'll just sing a lot. That's just, that'll be fine. I'll just do that. Yeah. Sing the tune, the tale of the brave Sir Robin.
You can never have too much singing. So yeah, that's my big news at the moment.
No, that's huge, so huge news. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. I like the idea of podcasting, all the rest of it. I've never dipped my toe into the water, so to speak, but good luck with it. It sounds like it's going to be amazing. I know I will subscribe, and I will get as many as my fellow humans to do so as well, because it will help us cope with, the natural ones of reality.
Come have a good time. Listen to people say some nonsense, roll some dice, and just tell a story about an Arakorka, a turtle, something that I can't mention because he'll kill me if I say what his character is, and
don't do that. It's like, of course. You've got a dragonborn, a turtle, and a halfling walk into a tavern. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere.
Is there a D&D joke book, like an official Wizards of the Coast D&D joke book? Do you think?
Probably. Besides, they've got their cookbook out.
They have a cookbook?
The cookbook is out.
You're shitting me.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like the Harvest's Guide to whatever, and it's a proper cookbook for D&D style recipes and things.
Oh man,
which is awesome.
Oh man,
like, it's just ridiculous.
I love that. I could actually on the topic of recipe books, I'd love a Breath of the Wild recipe book. That would be awesome.
I don't know. Some of those things I've cooked up in Breath of the Wild have been very bad.
Yeah.
That's
actually true.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake.
Yeah, Matt, what's up?
What would you say if I said that you were unconscious?
Or nothing, I'd be unconscious.
What if I said to you, you were unconscious, and then all of a sudden you woke up with a start? The smell of musty hay and wood filling your nostrils. You roll over onto your back and reach up to feel your brow, a dull ache booming in the back of your mind. You feel uneasy as you try to open your eyes, but only see a dim glow of candlelight. As your eyes begin to adjust, you can see that you're in a small room. The floor is wooden boards, the surface littered with straw, hay, and the odd broken barrel. As you try to get to your feet, slightly tipsy, and you sit to one side, you lean against a beam in the middle of the room, and you can see that there are shackles attached to it. Is this a prison? One thing seems clear to you. While there are just too many questions running through your mind, it's time you got some answers. What would you like to do?
Can I catch my reflection in any surfaces, any puddles, or any?
You can't see any sources of water or anything else. There's not even like a little flask or anything else. There's a bucket, but it's empty and dry. There's straw, hay, everything else. You can see a door that leads. It's like the only exit out of the room. It has like a little bolt that's across it. But otherwise, that's all that you've got.
I'm gonna call. Hello?
You hear a dull thud against the door. You hear a dull thud against the door, and then you hear, "Oi, keep it down in there."
Yeah. Okay, I'm not quite sure how I got here. If you could
keep it down in there, or you'll pay for it.
I look around at my drab visage, and I say, I think I already have paid for it, asshole.
You can see that you've got like a basic sort of leathers and stuff on. Nothing too, it's very much like not peasanty, but it's yucky attire. Your clothes are worn. There's blood stains on some of them. You can see as well too, if you look around the room, that there are little bits of slivers of metal, a couple of old nails and things that are strewn around the floor, which may or may not prove useful.
I'm gonna give my shackles a bit of a tug just to see how tight they are.
You shake your arms around, but you realize you're actually not shackled to anything. They're shackled on the beam of where you are, but you're actually not tied up. You've woken up and you're completely unrestrained. Obviously, you've been knocked out cold.
I'd like to go to the door and get down low and see if I can see or hear anything under the door crack.
Can you make an investigation check, please?
I have no stats for anyone playing at home. I had no idea this was fucking going to happen.
Oh, that's okay. The stats are here. I promise you, the stats are here.
It's one of those color as you go things.
That is not for me. It's not. I've got a complete character sheet for you.
That you asshole. That's a 9.
Okay, so you can see a dull glow coming through the bottom of the door, which is like almost like a candlelight flicker. You can't see much else. There is a slight shadow that makes you understand that obviously is someone else outside the door.
All right, I'm gonna crawl back. I'm gonna find a sliver of something, a nail or something sharp, and I'm gonna try and work my cuffs, work the keyhole in my cuffs.
Remembering that you're not restrained, you pick up the knife, the nail, and you go to look at your cuffs and go, "Oh, hang on, wait! I'm actually unrestrained. I'm not tied up to anything." I
slap myself and go, "That must have been a big fucking night." I'm gonna go to the door with this little sliver of whatever I've got, this nail, this thing, and you said there's a bolt or a keyhole or a. I'm gonna try work that as lightly and as quietly as possible.
Okay, I need you to make a stealth roll, please. for the flourish. A 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually an 8 because you got a +4 to stealth, believe it or not.
Ooh, okay,
you are picking away at the lock and trying to do your thing. Unfortunately, as you gently try to slide this bolt across this and a thunk, and you hear this gruff from behind the door, and you hear someone stand up from a chair, and you hear footsteps coming towards the door.
I'm gonna flip around to whichever side the door hinges on. I'm gonna flip to the other side and go back up against the wall and say, "It's okay. I just dropped something."
Okay, there's a gruff sort of snort of reply and a bit of a snigger that sort of suggests that this person knows, or this entity, whatever it may be, knows what you're up to. You feel the metal grunt of the door bolt slide, and the door swings open. You are behind the door. The door swings open full, and there's a sort of a gasp of a surprise, expecting to see someone there, but obviously that whoever it is doesn't see anyone there. So what do you do next?
Before anything happens, I'm going to push the door as hard as I can and then dart around and see who it is, what it is, and try and grapple them.
Roll for a strength check for me.
That is a natural.
Oh my god, 1. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, so you. This is not how I thought this was going to go.
No, neither did I.
So you smack the door, and as you push against it, it's almost like this person preempts that you're behind the door when they can't see you. You feel the door hardly move. It moves. It shunts against another surface, but there's a push back. The pushback slams you up against the door. The person steps into the room, slams the door behind them, and now you're face to face with this sort of a guard who's been sort of keeping watch over this room. They have like a little tattered vest on. They got some brown pants. They don't have a shirt. It's just the vest over the top. There's tattoos and stuff. And they appear to be middle-aged human, and they look like they're ready for a fight. What do you think you're doing, you bastard?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just don't quite like being locked up, and you weren't telling me while I'm in here for a nice vest, by the way. I like.
You be doing your best thing to keep quiet, and if you can't keep quiet, I'm gonna make you. I need you to roll for initiative.
I've got nothing. This did not go the way I had hoped when I woke up in the middle of a cell. Where was that? That's a natural 20.
Oh, shit. Okay, so you start off with a 22, and you will be first to act.
Okay.
Now, he's probably within 20 feet of you. The room's quite close. You're not on the floor. You're up against a wall, but obviously he's in front of you, ready for a fight.
Quick look around the room. As far as improvised weaponry, anything like that, is there anything within arm's reach?
Handfuls of straw. There's those nails and slivers of metal and things as well. I need you to roll investigation quickly for me.
11.
Okay, so you can't see them as such, but you can tell they're there. You hear a glint and a bit of a clanging, and you sense this guard has a couple of keys on a keychain somewhere on their person, and you've also got a glint of metal. There's a dagger that obviously is brandishing, ready to plunge it against you.
I'm going to grab a handful of the straw and charge at him as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and hold the wrist that has the dagger, which should never do in a knife fight, but it's his fantasy. I'm going to push the straw into his face, and I want to try and knock him prone. I want to try and shove him with the straw in his face.
Yep. So you need to make a grappling throw, please.
That's a 14.
It's a contest. You got a 14?
Yeah.
Sorry, was it 14?
14, yeah. 1-4.
Also, you succeed. You basically grab the wrist, you push him out of the way, and you shove. The hay goes into the face. His whole head follows suit. This guy's fallen down on his back, grabbed prone. As you lean forward with the hand on his wrist with a knife, he pushes you forward. Listen to that.
Thank
and
you.
as you do so, you hear a sort of like not a break, but there's a bit of a flimsy snap against his wrist here, and actually there's a clang as the dagger falls to the floor.
Oh, how much? If I've got movement left, I'm gonna scoop up that dagger, turn to him, and say, "So sorry. I know how much a snapped wrist hurts." And I'm gonna. Oh, should I grab his keys? Grab the dagger. Grab the keys. I'm gonna grab the dagger.
You only have movement left. You only have movement left because it's going to be his turn.
I've already done the action. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to. If he's dropped the dagger, I'm gonna move out the door and get ready to shut the door on him.
Okay. So he's going to take him some movement. He rolls over to clutch his wrist, and obviously he's in a bit of pain and everything else, which is a bit bonkers. He sort of tries to see where the dagger's gone. He's looking up at you with a look of absolute surprise more than anything else, and he almost looks like he's trying to scurry backwards a little bit from you. So he's picked himself up and he's trying to use his elbows and arms to push himself back away from where you are.
Okay.
So you would now have time if you wanted to scoop up the dagger and make an exit. You would be able to do that as part of movement action.
I would scoop up the dagger and I'd step back to the door and I'd say to him, "You're going to stay here. You're going to count to 500. You're going to stay here and do nothing until then. All right?"
He's looking at, he's holding his wrist, and he sort of looks at you and he sort of hesitates and he says, "I don't know how to count."
What can you count to? What can you count to? The?
I can count to 5.
Okay. Okay. All right. Why don't you count to 5, but count really, really slowly? Yeah? Like this. And I'll do that for about a minute. Okay. Count like that. Count to 5 like that.
Okay, so while he's doing his counting and everything else, you hear from somewhere else, somewhere in another room, wherever you are, you hear some sort of revelry music, like festivities. It sounds very distant, like it's a few rooms or floors away, potentially, depending on where you are. There's some sort of festivities happening in the distance, and you just catch a glimpse or a bit of a whiff of the sound.
I'm going to shut the door on him while he's counting out loud as slowly as possible. And I'm going to head down. I'm going to head down whatever corridor there is. But I'm going to hold myself as if I belong here. So if anyone were to come around the corner, it's that thing of like, well, I just came from down there. Are you all right? And I'm going to stroll at a very medium pace. So I look like I belong here, but I'm actually able to take in everything, and I'm looking for any sort of room that may have garments, like a cloakroom, or without knowing where I am, something that has garments that I can change into.
Okay, so this new room that you find yourself in, you can see it's sort of a little bit of almost like a corridor. There's storage crates and things there. There's a set of stairs at the far end that are quite steep. There's candlelight. That's about it. They're all self-contained candles and lanterns and stuff like that. You can see that along the walls there are barrel things that are all tied off. And it sort of becomes clear to you that groggy, sort of unsettled feeling you were feeling is not because you've been groggy. It's because there's a bit of rocking from where you are. And there's also, you can see, you can hear more so than hear some scurrying noises coming from the distance, from the darkness up ahead.
Is there a naked flame of any kind?
They're contained in lanterns. They're all self-contained, but yes, there's lanterns and things there, and they're just on hooks. You'd be able to grab one off the wall if you wanted to.
I'm going to grab a lantern off the wall, Ebenezer Scrooge style, and make my way, my stub of candle, my nightcap, and I'm going to make my way, do with that phrasing what you will, into the darkness, I guess.
All right. So as you make your way down further into this gloom, as you can see there's cats that are aboard here that are sort of scurrying about doing their thing. They stop to look at you, but they sort of pay you no mind. It's very clear that they're used to other presences in their space.
I nod
so they
to
sort
them.
of just go about their own thing.
As you were, gentlemen. I keep moving.
They sort of look at you and then scurry away, and they drag off some scraps of whatever it is they've found to eat. You can see there's barrels and things everywhere here. The stairs lead up into another dark space. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a steep climb.
Okay. Steep climb. I'm going to need both hands probably.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip the dagger into whatever semblance of a waistband I have left. I am going to lantern in my teeth, hanging here, and I'm going to try and climb up with a lantern in my mouth.
As you make your way up, you're climbing this ladder, sort of leading to nowhere. While there's doom and gloom immediately above you, as your head emerges, so that there's like the bench, your head pops up. Yeah. It's a darkened space, but you can see there's like little shafts of light sort of dotting either side of the space along the way. So you pull yourself up, and you're actually sort of standing in this sort of longer corridor visage space. That has these shafts of light, and you can make out shadows in the gloom as well.
I would like to. I'm going to leave the lantern at the top of the stairs. And I'm going to move, instead of moving through the space, I want to move off to the side. Mm-hmm. And I want to try and, when you come from somewhere light into the darkness and you're like, fuck, can't see properly. I want to try and blink the brightness from my eyes. And I would like to, is there anything next to me, like barrels or stuff like that, or like things?
There are some objects in the room, but you can't make out what there are. Your eyes are still adjusting, and there is still quite a bit of that gloom around you. You don't have dark vision, so you can't really tell what is going on here. As you're sort of trying to move off to the side to make a space, I need you to make an athletics check, please.
Do I have shoes on?
No.
What's a 4?
Your rolls are worse than mine, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you make your way through and you try and move off to the side, you actually trip and stumble over a big, thick piece of rope, and you actually end up prone over the top of this long, sort of metallic, cylindrical object that's in front of you. This tube quite large, and as you fall, there's a clang, and you've left the lantern to the side. Sorry, there's obviously a noise, a thud of your body falling over this thing, and then you hear, huh, what was that? Oh, we better go check it out. And you hear boom, 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 and you hear footfalls in the distance coming slowly towards you, what appears to be down some stairs, and they're moving towards you at a somewhat of a quick pace.
Anything around me that I've fallen over, can I feel around for anything that I may be able to pick up with a hand or two?
You can feel around. I need you to make an investigation check.
Yep. Oh, stressful. It's a 14 investigation.
Okay, so as you're feeling around, you can feel this long tube and everything. And as you make your way down to the middle side end of this tube, there's a huge, like a crate that you've come across, and there's some round spherical objects that are actually quite heavy, but you would be able to pick one up.
Okay. I am going to pick up one of them, and I'm going to wait until I'm going to try and time it so that they come down. I'm going to roll the round cylindrical ball, and I'm going to try and roll it into the lantern to knock the lantern and the ball down the ladder. So that shit falls down the ladder so that they think to kind of go down the ladder.
Okay. So you will need to roll.
Yeah, sorry. That's a complicated one. There's no long ball.
I need you to make a sleight of hand check, please.
Okay, easy. Watch this. Natural 20. That's a 10.
Okay, so actually it's a 16 because you have a +6 to sleight of hand, so that's nice.
Ooh, okay.
So you roll this thing across and take a shot at the lantern, and the lantern connects. It almost smashes home true and nearly shatters in front of you. A bit of the glass that's on the side smashes, and you hear this of the glass as the rest of the lantern actually tumbles down into wow, this is just not going to go the way I thought. Stairs lands with a crash.
What did you expect? It's me. I'm me.
I know, but there's a naked flame now that's loose on a wooden floor.
I know. All I want to do is get out of here.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Let them sort it out.
This thing is falling down. There's glass on that landing. You hear footfalls coming down closer to
Let this be a lesson to anyone that's never played D&D. This is what happens. You go, I've got these ideas. Here's what I'm going to do. And a dumbass player comes along and goes, oh, I want to set fire to the floor. And you're like,
look,
okay, shit.
Always blame the dice. Let's be honest. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Okay, so these guys, you can hear these two presents. Definitely two male voices. You're hiding behind this object. These guys come into the room and they see they sort of glaring into the darkness. One of them's holding a little torch thing, lantern. And they make their way down and they hear, oh, it's weird. What the hell? One of these lanterns has fallen off of the glass. And one guy looks in, quick, get it out. And one guy actually jumps down, seeing the flame starting to catch at the bottom, jumps down these stairs to try and put this flame, some absolute disaster, which leaves just one guy looking down the hole, facing away from you.
I would, you can probably guess where this is going. I would like to sneak around behind him and kick him down the hole.
Okay, so because he's facing away from you, I just need you to make a stealth check to make sure that you're going to be perfectly silent. Don't roll a 1.
Oh yeah, I know. 3. These are different dice. These are different dice each time. Trust me.
Okay. Sure, blame the dice. So you make your way forward, and as you make your way forward, you not trip on the rope, but you make a noise. You bump into the crate of these round balls and things as well, and he actually starts to turn, hearing you move. But you do manage to close the distance in time because you're close enough. So you're able to give him a kick, and he is shoved down this hole, and he screams. And as he screams, the noise of the songs and everything somewhere above you stop. There is almost dead silence. You hear the guy complaining, oh, fuck, what the hell was that? And you hear the guy below him, who's obviously taken the full weight of this bloke, falling on top of him. What the bloody hell are you playing at, you dozzy bugger? What are you doing coming down here, falling on me? It wasn't me. I got pushed. There's a guy up there. And then the other guy says, the guy who's now lying on the floor prone, says, oh, what do you mean the prisoners escaped? That's crazy. And then you hear from the other end of that room downstairs, 3 from the crazy guy who's still counting away there. And then with the noise and everything else stopped, you sense more of a presence coming down those stairs from that darkness of that space, obviously looking to investigate what the heck is going on. And I've got no more light in this compartment. There are still lanterns, but they're down the opposite end, which is obviously where these noises of the intruders are coming from.
And if I look down the opposite end where the lanterns are coming from, is there like stairs or a ladder, or what can I see down there?
There is a very steep staircase. You could climb it without using hands, but it would obviously be better if you managed to use a handheld. There's a railing on one side, but effectively it's like this. And you can see there's a little bit of light coming from the top as well.
I am going to... man, I'm going to dash to those stairs. I'm going to... okay, I'm going to take off my whatever shirt I've got on. So I'm just going to have my pants on. I'm going to grab one of the lanterns. I'm going to... If I look up the stairs, what can I see? Is there a door? Is it open? Or how do I...
If you're going to dash through down there, I need to make an athletics check to make sure you can make it there before these guys come down the stairs.
That's a 9.
You're lucky. +3 bonus. Okay, so you actually cross the distance and you can actually grab the lantern. You hear footfalls on the ladder. You actually see a set of feet start to descend the stairs, and you're right at the bottom.
I'm taking my shirt. I'm setting fire to it. And I'm going to, even if it hurts me a little bit, I'm going to try and climb the stairs while I've got fire. And as I'm climbing, I'm going to be going, "Oh God, someone help, please, please, there's a fire. Oh no, oh no." And I'm going to be waving it around and like making a fuss, trying to like distract and send embers everywhere and just cause a bit of chaos that I can try and slip out from. Down, he fell and he set on fire.
All right, so you start screaming like an absolute maniac, carrying on, and the feet that you can see up above you as you're climbing up the ladder all of a sudden start to climb the other way, frantically making their way up and jumping in and out and all the rest of it, getting out of the way. And as you start to climb up and you've got flames and everything else is going nuts, it's like this big woo, fire sirens and shit everywhere. As you make your way up, you place one hand on this landing and you can feel a breeze. You can feel a breeze of like fresh air on your skin for the first time since we started. And then all of a sudden a hand latches onto your arm and another hand reaches down and grabs you by the scruff of the neck, and you are just launched out of this hole. Your shirt is just literally thrown onto the floor, and about 6 pairs of feet just stop, putting out those flames. And you can see there's a bunch of dudes that have got like teeth missing and they've got pocked, leathery skin. One guy's wearing a bandana. A lot of them are brandishing some sort of weapons. There's a group of 4 of these guys that are effectively standing around you. They let you go, and they're ready to, take a chunk of flesh out of you for all the mischief you've caused. I need you to roll for initiative.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
I'm not lying. That is another natural 20 on an initiative.
How dare you?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, folks,
it's not gone so well for me.
I mean,
okay, you're going to be first to act.
Okay. First of all, what can I see?
Okay, so you can see literally you're aware that there is some harsh sunlight coming in, the light all over you. You can see a lot more people than just the 4 that are here are surrounded in this hole, but you're effectively locked into a small space with these 4 guys ready to bear down upon you. You can feel the cold air, but your mind is totally focused on what's happening right now in the moment. And obviously, being first to act, you get a chance to try to take the fight to these guys.
Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put one. I'm going to put my hands out to the side, not up in the air, out to the side, and say, "Wait! The dude down in the bottom who was guarding me, he let me go because there was a fire starting, and he said, 'Get up there and warn you guys.' Your other 2 guys came down. That they're trying to put it out, but it looks pretty bad down there. You may want to help him out."
For persuasion.
Yeah. Let's go with that dice. You know what? Let's just call it a night. That was a 3.
Let me put it this way. You would have had to roll high. So these guys are just listening to your story, and one of them drops his sword a little bit. Like instead of having it brandished, he drops his sword and starts laughing. They start laughing at your pitiful attempt at bullshitting, which gives you an opportunity to take in more of your surroundings. And you can see to the side, there's another one of those crates that has these balls in it. You can see it's a cannonball. And you can see that's in close proximity. It is almost within reaching distance. You would have to make your way over a little bit further. You can see other guys are brandishing daggers, and one guy's got a longsword and is obviously able to reach a little bit further. You would have an opportunity to do an action.
Yeah. I don't know if I have bonus actions either. Okay, I'm going to, while they're laughing, I'm going to be like, stop it, and kind of lean over towards the thing. I assume they're heavy, yeah? But I want to try and lift one up and just kind of shot put one as hard as I can at someone's face.
Okay, so you've got longsword man and you've got 3 other guys with daggers. 2 of the guys with daggers are behind you. Longsword man?
Okay. Yeah, whoever's closest to this arc of movement to me. If I lean over, grab a shot put, and just go bang as hard as I can in someone's face.
So you've got a guy with a longsword and a guy with a dagger. They would both be able to be a potential target.
I'm going longsword. If I can get that longsword guy down, I'll be much better.
All right. So this is going to be a basic bludgeoning attack, effectively. So roll for your attack.
Or roll to 8. 8.
An 8. Let me just consult this. Oh, it does make a connection. I need you to roll 2d6 bludgeoning, please.
Okay.
You're lucky you've got a
strength. What am I? What the fuck am I? Okay. 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh shit. Okay. So as you hurl this thing across, let me make this very clear. I could just ask you, how do you want to do this? You hurl this thing across there, and it just catches this guy completely off guard, and it conks him, bang, straight in the middle of the head. He falls back on himself. You hear a crunch as his nose effectively shatters from this shot put in this thing. He falls backwards. His sword goes up in the air and flies through the air. It flies in an overarching fashion and lands straight in the ground and is almost within reach. You'd have to use the rest of your movement to get to it if you wanted to. But effectively, this guy is out. He's knocked out cold. He's not getting up, if at all.
Yeah. Yeah. If I've got movement left.
This has...
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
I was just going to say, if I've got movement left, I will take a step or two forward and put my hand on the sword, and as casually and as suavely as possible, I'm going to look at the rest of them and go, look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now.
They turn to you and they listen to you say this, and they just snort. The guy with the dagger is just really pissed off. He was my best mate, you fucking bastard! And he lunges at you with the dagger, ready to go, and he's going to try and basically cut your heart straight out. However, because I'm a shit fucking roller at dice, he plunges forward with the dagger, and because you're leaning prone and ready for it almost, you actually slap him, like go straight for the face. And he lunges forward and lunges past you and nearly connects with the guys behind. He nearly actually knocks himself back down into the hole below, which leaves the other two pirates that are behind you to try and make some sort of attack. And they are too preoccupied with the fact they're trying to catch this guy who's just tried to stab you with a dagger, and they are effectively trying to stop him from falling down the hole. So the three of them are effectively engaged with each other, trying to stop themselves from falling, which brings us back to yourself, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to yank that sword out of the floorboards.
I will need you to make a strength check because it's in there pretty deep.
12.
12? 15. Yes, you can yank that out.
Okay, I'm going to yank it out and point it at them. This is going to be a dumb idea, but I'm going to back up 10 paces without breaking eye contact.
Okay. So you're making your way back. Yep. As you back up, you're watching these guys. You're brandishing the sword at these guys. They sort of stop engaging. They collect themselves. They look back at you. And you're backing up one step, 2 steps, 3 steps. And it's then you can see that there are others marking either side of this little passage that you're starting to form. There's more of these brigands on either side. And the guys at the far end, who are now probably nearly 20 feet away from you, just start this shit-eating grin starts to form as you back.
I'm getting old boy hallway fight
and then
vibes.
All of a sudden you step back into somebody, and there's a sudden sense of dread as you realize that you've backed into somebody, and you look down and you can see that you actually put your bare foot on top of this ridiculously pristine, polished black boot, polished to this pristine shine. And you follow the boot up the leg that occupies it, slowly turning to reveal the well-dressed man that clearly commands the reprobates that you've just been entangling with. The others back away. One of the goons jumps forward and grabs you, holding you tight, and turns you to face the captain. He looks you squarely in the eye, and a thin smile spreads across his face. I admire your cavalier attempt at breaking free, mate, but I'm keen to know whereabouts it is you think you might be going. And he gestures with a wave of his arm, spreading wide, and you follow to see that you're on the deck of a vessel with nothing but blue ocean in all directions as far as the eye can see. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to run. The captain strides forward to you, grabs you by the chin, lifts your face to his, menacing inches from his face. The foul breath comes through. Welcome aboard the bloody cutlass. And he smashes his head forward, and you feel a sickening crunch as he connects, and your entire world goes black. And that is where we're going to end, my friend.
Oh God! And this is how my oh God, cool. Oh, and it's exciting because I have no idea.
I literally have an entire character sheet, all this shit.
So I guess we're gonna have to keep doing this stream then.
Yeah, hopefully with better audio.
Yeah, and I'll get a camera that doesn't make me look like I'm a Simpsons character. There you go, white balance.
Well,
white balance.
It kind of works for you. I mean, you've been at sea for this long. You've probably got scurvy, so
jaundice. Yeah. True. Very true.
Yeah, I do want to keep going, but
that was a lot of fun.
I'm conscious that I've got to go pick up my kid from school. So
yeah, no, that's fine. Thank you very much. You said have dice handy, and I didn't expect that. I thought maybe you'd be like, let's roll up a character for fun. Son of a bitch.
No. I have plans. It's more of a guideline than rules.
More of a guideline than rules. Yeah. I just wish I chose that.
Look, I always enjoy having chats with you and all that sort of stuff. And I know it's probably just after 7. So hopefully you've had a chance to. Have you got dinner plans, or are you doing something crazy now, or what?
I'll feed the dog, take him out again, and then have a pretty regular night. We're recording the podcast tomorrow night, so I need to do a bit of prep for that. Some character, some vocal stuff, figure out that whole business. Other than that, tonight's going to be pretty chill.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan. I would like to say my night's going to be the same, but I have a few exciting things happening for us as well.
Yeah, what's going on with HP Gaming at the moment?
Oh, mate, lots. Apart from Dungeons and Dragons and everything else, which we love, which is fantastic. And thank you for indulging me in my little kickstart of a pirate campaign there. Very excited to see what that takes us.
I'm just shattered after you saying, "Oh, I never get to be a player." I was like, you know what? Next time we do this stream, I'm gonna DM a one-on-one for him. And you already kicked one off with me, so you know.
I beat you to it. And just fair warning, I may have other guests who are going to join us down the track if we continue this campaign. So if we can get the audio working well and we can do a proper stream not a proper stream because this is a proper stream, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And
I'm just excited.
Before you go on. Yeah. What was that? Like 20 minutes? 15, 20 minutes?
Nearly 35, nearly 40.
Oh, did we do that for 30 minutes? Oh shit. Okay. I was going to say,
just before 1:30.
It's a very, very tantalizing sample size. Like it doesn't need to be an hour. It doesn't need to be 4 hours. Like that half-hour thing is actually, I'm pumped now.
Oh, that's a hell of a hook. I started writing it, and there's stuff we didn't get to because you obviously nearly set fire to the whole fucking ship. But I just like the idea of that as a hook. Like, why is he on the boat? What's going on? Who is this captain?
I'll let you in on a secret. My very first homebrew campaign started almost exactly the same.
Well, look, great minds think alike and all that.
I think so. I think it's exactly what it is.
Segue. HP Gaming has lots of crazy stuff happening. We have a few competitions that we're going to start launching very, very soon. We have masses of YouTube content coming everyone's way because of the fact that I now have Wednesdays that have to record, which is bloody brilliant. I've got playthroughs coming up for shows and for different board games. We also have an exclusive first look at a brand new card game that is being launched literally, I think it's just launched last week. And I'm actually going to, from here after school pickup, take my kids and go over to pick up a copy, learn how to play the game, and then it will be basically presenting a series of how to plays and everything else for that, which is going to be fantastic. And then there's more streaming, more campaigns, and we've just been notified that a company who did a preview for last year for their Kickstarter campaign is gifting us a copy of their full all-in pledge to give away as a prize.
Holy shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's lots of big stuff happening, and hopefully we can keep the stream alive and just keep the channel growing and keep, just keep everyone interested and bring more people into the Dungeons and Dragons world. And just all the other fun stuff. So yeah, lots more streams to come, lots more craziness, and who knows, a couple more sessions where we build health potions and what. I can't believe you didn't open one of the barrels, man. There's health potions in the barrels. What the hell?
I was too busy freaking the fuck out, man.
I caught you off guard. I love that. Thank you again, sir, very much. Always a pleasure to have you on board, and I appreciate that very much. I hope everyone gets a chance to watch this back, because there are some absolute moments of pure, unadulterated gold, I'm very sure. And there's plenty more good times to have. I'm going to go do a school run. You are going to go do a dog feeding run, and maybe go for a run as well. I don't know. I'm not the boss of you. But yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to Mr. Jake Machin. Thank you very much, sir, for joining me today.
And a big round of applause for your host, Mr. Matt Hillman.
Whee! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Much obliged. We will see you back here at some stage. What do you think? Same time next week?
As far as I can,
maybe
a
Wednesday. We'll see. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
You and I will chat off air, and we'll talk about that and set it up, and we'll go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, we in HP Gaming's D&D Live. We will see you next time. Thank you very much for attending and watching. Keep rolling natural 20s, and we'll see you back very soon. It is bye for now.